Hi all. I am Jishnu, studying in Kendriya Vidyalaya Hebal, Bengaluru. Part of Team Ingenious Geniuses. In this video you will learn about the cell. Cells are the smallest living units of an organism. All cells have three things in common, no matter what type of cell they are. These are the cell membrane. All cells have membrane which separates the cell from its environment. The cell membrane functions are barrier, keeping the constituents of the cell in and unwanted substances out, and gate, allowing transport into the cell of essential nutrients and movement from the cell of waste products. Cytoplasm, which is a jelly-like fluid. Cytoplasm is a thick solution that fills each cell and is enclosed by the cell membrane. It is mainly composed of water, salts, and proteins. In eukaryotic cells, the cytoplasm includes all of the material inside the cell and outside of the nucleus. The cytoplasm is responsible for holding the components of the cell and protects them from damage. Deoxyribonucleic acid, abbreviated DNA, is the molecule that carries genetic information for the development and functioning of an organism. DNA dictates what the cell is going to do and how it's going to do it. Chromatin, the tangled, spread out form of DNA found inside the nuclear membrane. When a cell is ready to divide, DNA condenses into structures known as chromosomes. DNA contains the instructions needed for an organism to develop, survive, and reproduce. To carry out these functions, DNA sequences must be converted into messages that can be used to produce proteins, which are the complex molecules that do most of the work in our bodies. There are two broad categories of cells. The first category is eukaryotic cells. They have organelles which include the nucleus and other special parts. Eukaryotic cells are more advanced, complex cells such as those found in plants and animals. The second category is prokaryotic cells. They don't have a nucleus or membrane, enclosed organelles. They do have genetic material, but it's not contained within a nucleus. Prokaryotic cells are always one-celled or unicellular organisms, such as bacteria. Organelle means little organ. Organelles are the specialized parts of a cell that have unique jobs to perform. Organelles serve the functions to keep a cell alive. Organelles are small structures within the cytoplasm that carry out functions necessary to maintain homeostasis in the cell. They are involved in many processes, for example energy production, building proteins and secretions, destroying toxins, and responding to external signals. Nucleus is the control center of the cell. The nucleus contains DNA, or genetic material. Nucleus also contains a nucleolus, which is a structure where ribosomes are made. After ribosomes leave the nucleus, they will have the important job of synthesizing or making proteins. The nucleus controls and regulates the activities of the cell, example, growth and metabolism, and carries the genes, structures that contain the hereditary information. Chromosomes are the highest level of organization of DNA and proteins. The main function of chromosomes is to carry the DNA and transfer the genetic information from parents to offspring. Chromosomes play an important role during cell division. They protect the DNA from getting tangled and damaged. Ribosome is an intercellular structure made of both RNA and protein, and it is the site of protein synthesis in the cell. The ribosome reads the messenger RNA, mRNA, sequence, and translates the genetic code into a specified string of amino acids, which grow into long chains that fold to form proteins. Outside the nucleus, the ribosomes and the rest of the organelles float around in cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like substance. Ribosomes may wander freely within the cytoplasm or attach to the endoplasmic reticulum, sometimes abbreviated as ER. There are two types of ER. Rough ER has ribosomes attached to it, and smooth ER doesn't have ribosomes attached to it. The endoplasmic reticulum is a membrane-enclosed passageway for transporting materials such as the proteins synthesized by ribosomes. The endoplasmic reticulum is a large, dynamic structure that serves many roles in the cell, including calcium storage, protein synthesis, and lipid metabolism. The diverse functions of the ER are performed by distinct domains, consisting of tubules, sheets, and the nuclear envelope. Proteins and other materials emerge from the endoplasmic reticulum in small vesicles where the Golgi apparatus, sometimes called the Golgi body, receives them. As proteins move through the Golgi body, they're customized into forms that the cell can use. The Golgi body does this by folding the proteins into usable shapes, or adding other materials onto them such as lipids or carbohydrates. Vacuoles are sac-like structures that store different materials. The Golgi apparatus, or Golgi complex, functions as a factory in which proteins received from the ER are further processed and sorted for transport to their eventual destinations, lysosomes, the plasma membrane, or secretion. In addition, as noted earlier, glycolipids and sphingomyelin are synthesized within the Golgi. Lysosomes are the garbage collectors that take in damaged or worn-out cell parts. They are filled with enzymes that break down this cellular debris. Lysosomes function as the digestive system of the cell, serving both to degrade material taken up from outside the cell and to digest obsolete components of the cell itself. The mitochondrion is an organelle that is the powerhouse for both animal and plant cells. During a process called cellular respiration, the mitochondria make ATP molecules that provide the energy for all the cell's activities. Cells that need more energy have more mitochondria. Through a series of chemical reactions, mitochondria break down glucose into an energy molecule known as adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which is used to fuel various other cellular processes. The cell maintains its shape through a cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton includes the thread-like microfilaments, which are made of protein, and microtubules, which are thin hollow tubes. The cytoskeleton is a structure that helps cells maintain their shape and internal organization, and it also provides mechanical support that enables cells to carry out essential functions like division and movement. Some organisms, such as plants that are photoautotrophic, meaning they capture sunlight for energy, have cells with an organelle called a chloroplast. The chloroplast is where photosynthesis happens. It's green because it has a green pigment called chlorophyll. Chloroplasts are plant cell organelles that convert light energy into relatively stable chemical energy via the photosynthetic process. By doing so, they sustain life on Earth. Chloroplasts also provide diverse metabolic activities for plant cells, including the synthesis of fatty acids, membrane lipids. Plant cells also have a cell wall outside of their cell membranes that shape, support, and protect the plant cell. Animal cells never have a cell wall. The main function of the cell wall is to provide structural strength and support, and also provide a semi-permeable surface for molecules to pass in and out of the cell. Red blood cell, also called erythrocyte, cellular component of blood, millions of which in the circulation of vertebrates give the blood its characteristic color and carry oxygen from the lungs to the tissues. The mature human red blood cell is small, round, and biconcave. It appears dumbbell-shaped in profile. Red blood cells carry oxygen from our lungs to the rest of our bodies. Then they make the return trip, taking carbon dioxide back to our lungs to be exhaled. White blood cell, also called leukocyte, or white corpuscle, a cellular component of the blood that lacks hemoglobin, has a nucleus, is capable of motility, and defends the body against infection and disease by ingesting foreign materials and cellular debris, by destroying infectious agents and cancer cells, or by producing antibodies. As your white blood cells travel through your bloodstream and tissues, they locate the site of an infection and act as an army general to notify other white blood cells of their location to help defend your body from an attack of an unknown organism. Thanks for watching the video.